Okay, okay. So I'm just sticking. Well, it says it's live now, so. I see you now. Hello, 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 hello. A few folk looking in there. It's Paul here, Paul Anderson. Getting to do a wee demonstration. I'm a bit swear to call it a workshop because it's going to be on slow Strathspey after last week's workshop. Somebody said, what about a workshop on slow Strathspey? So I thought, aye, that's a good idea, but they're quite difficult to use at workshops with a big group of folk because they're such a solo discipline, really. I mean, you can play them as part of a group, but by their nature, it's difficult to keep everybody together, and a lot of players tend to give them a bit of a body swerve, really, because they can be in flat keys frequently. A lot of folk aren't quite sure how to handle them. So we're going to have a look at the slow Strathspey, and I thought we'd have a go at James Scott Skinner's tune Markworth. Once again on Facebook Live, I'm probably coming across as being inverted, so back to front. I'm not left-handed. Well, I am left-handed, but I certainly didn't play left-handed. So let's let you hear a bit of this tune by James Scott Skinner. It's Markworth. So that's Markworth, which is a lovely tune. The copy I'm using is out of the Film Music of Scotland by James Hunter, which was a book I got a lot of my tunes out of as I was learning and competing out of. Just a great source book to work out of. So slow Strathspey, I'll certainly go through it bit by bit, but this might be the shortest workshop demonstration that I do over the previous weeks and this week, because I'm not going to go hour and hour playing slow Strathspey. I just kind of hope that folk get a bit of a taste of it that you're kind of looking for. I find when I've been adjudicating competitions that if you've got a class for the slow Strathspey as part of the sets, that Mayor and Only tune is the one that folk didn't quite get right. Slow Strathspey, although there's Strathspey, yeah, it's in the title, which is a dance tune. The Strathspey is a dance tune. A slow Strathspey is nae for dancing to. It's a performance piece, and as such, it's got a lot of room for personal expression, ebb and flow in the music, pushing and pulling it, light and shade, kind of louds and softs, much in the same way as you would play a slow air in that respect, although they're nae slow airs. So the key thing to mind is that they're nae as quick as dance tunes and nae as strict tempo wise, and they're not as slow airs, and that would probably be the thing that I would notice when I hear slow Strathspey being played by younger players, is that they tend often to play them as slow airs, so try to avoid that. And I have played slow Strathspeys when they're played for dancing to. And of course you can play them for dancing because they're in common time, they're 4/4. You just keep it strict tempo and you can apply it to dancing. But really they lose a huge amount of the character when you play them like that. So if I take Markworth, which I've just played, and play it in a kind of more strict tempo and take all the character out of it, it's a bit more like this. So that's quite different from Faye. So in the first 4 bars there you get a sense of how different it is. The tempo is pulled about a lot. So you do sort of treat it like a slow air, because you play it by the phrases. There's a speeding up and slowing down to varying degrees, depends on the player and how they want to express it. But it tends to be like that. So in this particular tune, I would say every 2 bars is a phrase when it works like that through the tune. But it must have that Strathspey character, and when you're playing it slow, you really get a chance to mark the best of the bowing. So things like up-driven bows, unisons, that type of thing, you really get a feel for them when you're playing it. So right for the beginning of Markworth, I've got an up-driven bow. So you can really feel that up-driven bow, that sense of lift that you get. I can't mind who I heard saying it, but it's certainly something that's been said quite a lot, that in slow Strathspeys the spaces are almost as important as the notes. And although no music do you find that the spaces are more important than the note. The melody is key, but how you phrase it and get the character, the spacing is very important. So things like this. Nah, it's not great, that. So you get that sense of lift with the up-driven bow. An up-driven bow is a development of snap bowing, so you can see it at the beginning. Got the snap there, even though it's a slow Strathspey and it's played much more slowly than for dancing to, you still get the snap coming through. And you add the next 2 on. So with the down, up, 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 between the second and third up, just like for dance tunes, the up-driven bow, it gives you lift, but in the slow Strathspey you really hear it. First phrase. So just like in a slow air, you sort of leave room for breath in the music. So that would be like for a singer would take a breath, the end of that phrase, take a breath and then move on to the next bit. So every 2 bars is a bit like that. So back to the beginning. If you've got your fiddle out and fancy trying, play along. You can see that bit there, how the tempo's easing up. You build it up and then you pull it back at the end of the phrase. Never quite stop. So there I've actually switched the bowing round a little bit, and you can do that with slow Strathspeys. You can get a different feel by bowing it slightly different. So I've still kept the up-driven bow, but the first time I go, second time, so it's just subtly different, but for me, these little things make all the difference. Just keep the music interesting. I think more than any type of Scottish fiddle tune that you could play, the slow Strathspey really is for you get a sense of the artistry of the bowing coming through. It is more than just playing notes, kind of up and down, things like the up-driven bows. You can have 4 notes in one down bow, snap bowing, so that sort of thing. It's really up to the experience of the player to kind of apply these things. So let's go to the beginning and try and go right through. Okay, so I'll try and give you a wee bit of guidance as regards when we're going to pull it back with the phrasing and then move on. But it's basically every 2 bars there should be a certain sense of this, taking a breath before you move on. But that'll vary. Some places you feel it much more than others. You tend to find the most noticeable parts at the end of a measure or at the end of the tune, and they can vary phrase to phrase. It makes it sound quite complicated. You can see maybe why they're tricky to get right. But we'll go back to the beginning, then I rush in, take your time, plenty of tone, plenty of bow. Okay, get a good grasp of the bowing and you should be okay. So there you go, that's Markworth by James Scott Skinner. I would probably be inclined to say the folk that really have influenced me directly or indirectly actually on how I play slow Strathspeys would be, well, my teachers, folk like Dougie Lawrence would be one, but just the sense of how you play them in the northeast of Scotland, that would really be informed by 2 players more than any others, I would say. First would be Hector McAndrew, for sure, a great artist. When you see when he clips of him bowing tunes, just his bow seems about a foot longer than anybody else's, so how you can really flow it out. The other one would be Jimmy Dickey, and a great stylist, a quiet, shy kind of guy. He was still alive when I started playing, but I never met him. He died kind of early on in my playing career. But on the recordings I've heard of him, a lot of what I learnt about how you should play slow Strathspeys or how you should interpret them. Actually, when you hear Jimmy Dickey playing, a lot of that I feel kind of comes from him. He was from up in Buchan, and near a man that enjoyed going out playing in public a great deal, but when he was in company at home, he certainly he liked hearing a tune. But slow Strathspeys, Jimmy Dickey, if you can find any recordings of him, you'll find him quite interesting. Not the sort of playing you're likely to hear at Celtic Connections or any of that type of festivals, but if you want to hear really kind of good authentic style, it's well worth having a listen to it. So I'll come back to Markworth. I think it might be a good idea just to let you hear a few other slow Strathspeys, just so you can see a sense of continuity in the style. There are different, but the same sort of things happen in them all. You've got that character, the Strathspey character, but this sense of expression and phrasing, which is very important. And in that sense that the spaces between the notes make a huge difference as well. So let's go for something quite extreme. This is J.F. Dickey's Delight. which is a tribute to Jimmy Dickey that I spoke about by John Murdoch Henderson. So here we go. So that would be one of the heavier slow Strathspeys you could play, and you really do get a sense of how the spaces between the notes make a big difference. So if I take a start of that again. So if you play that like this, some folk might like that, so you can please yourselves, but that's nae how you really ever would have played that type of tune in the northeast of Scotland. Certainly when I was working on tunes like that for competition, even the pianists had a good sense of how you should phrase them, and one of the key things, like on a Scottish fiddle tune, is this pulling out of the long notes. You really hear it in slow Strathspeys, the tension in the music with the short notes being really short and the long notes being really long is really quite noticeable. Another one I could play, the Sharkins the Pioche, and that was written by James Scott Skinner and Peter Milne. Peter Milne being Skinner's great mentor and really tutor on how to play Scottish fiddle music, and it relates to a period when they were so hard up. They were in a pub somewhere in a bar, and they had only enough money between the two of them to buy one dram, so things were desperately hard. So they wrote this tune really to commemorate the event. I reckon it's not much of an event, not being able to buy a dram, but to commemorate the moment. So this is the Sharkins the Pioche. A poke, it's usually written pokey in a book, but it's pronounced pioch in the northeast of Scotland. A pioch is like a poke of chips. If you went to a fish and chip shop, you get a poke. If you went to a poker game, that's where the name comes from, because you took your money in a poke or a bag. So so poker comes from this. It is the same root. So in the northeast of Scotland, we're going to call it pioch. The Sharkins of the Pioche. Friday. Might play that on Friday at our recital. So there you go. That's a few. And maybe finish the demonstrations before we go back to Markworth with James O'Forbes, of course. That's another Peter Milne tune, and then we'll pull out a few of these pointers again. But hopefully you're beginning to get a sense of how the spacing counts, the tension in the music, the tempo, the ebb and flow, the light and shade are all things that you need to think about. And key to that is your bowing. So you really do need to use and understand how to get the best out of your hail bow. So James O'Forbes, of course, which actually, if I sit, it would be about 5 miles away. So another thing you tend to find coming through is, if it's in the key for, you have the possibility of playing open strings. If it's a long enough note, you would tend to use a unison rather than just the plain open. James O'Forbes, of course, there it's an E, and there's a few places you could use unisons. The lead-in note even. Again. Octave bow into unison. You didn't need to dig in with the bow. That would be a common misinterpretation. You didn't need to go. The playing of the two strings with a grace note gives you plenty of accent. Got that at the beginning, it will discord something rotten. Lovely. Because it's a grace note, it's quick, and the ear doesn't really get a chance to pick it up. So rather than going you can hear the difference really quickly. Even the drones here. Snap bowing. Grace notes. Snap bowing, pull out your long notes, keep your short notes short, staccato, unison, snap bowing, unison, so staccatos. Here's an example of a snap that I didn't use with a down up, because I almost always tend to hit with a down up, but because of the way or how the bowing works itself out, at that point I'm happier to use a slur or an up bow. so I can be on a down up for this. I mean, it's quite advanced for a traditional bit of music, stylistically, but also Peter Milne is using third positions there up on the E string. It's going so far up that you've got to go up the neck of the fiddle. Always your snaps are snappy at every point. They're never anything less than as good as your best, where at all. Well, always. Nowhere's possible. They have to be good every time. Style changes at the end. So when I can obviously go into something else once you've finished. I might play that on Friday at the recital, actually, on Peter Milne's Ain Fiddle, which should be quite cool. I'll have a look at it, dust it down and get it up and going. So I'm going to go back to Mackworth, maybe play it through a couple of times just to finish. Hopefully you'll get a sense of the various aspects to think about when you're playing slow Strathspeys. But of course, if you just want to play them at regular tempo and dance them, that's fine. But really the whole idea of them, it's much more akin to a slow air, for it's a performance thing. So they really were just a development of the fiddler wanting to express himself rather than play for dance, and just express his ability as a player. So Mackworth, back beginning, if you've got your fiddles out and handy, let's have a go. So for the top, 2, 3. Might just play it once more to finish, but that's really, in a nutshell, everything I'd be looking for in a slow Strathspey, regardless of the tune. It's the type of things. They vary from piece to piece. The character can vary. James O'Forbes is much lighter. Mackworth's quite light, although it's in 2 flats. Someone like J.F. Dickey's Delight or a Sharkins of Pioke, they're much heavier tunes to play and shouldn't be taken lightly. But yeah. Have a go and practice them, that's the thing. They do take practice, but very rewarding, and it's one of my favourite things to hear if I've played well. So yeah, look at your books, get your fiddles out the box and have a go at some slow Strathspeys. So last time through Mackworth, we'll be back on Friday live for the living room, or whatever we're calling it. It'll be, it might be, what kind of whiskey have we got? It might be what's in the box. And what I can say, recent update today is we've got the first batch of the Fingin coconuts has been delivered. So prize winners will get coconuts, including John Fuchs, who is griping about the fact his hasn't turned up. But we've got a coconut for you, John. So So we'll see you there. This is free. All these things I'm doing are free. But if you do want to donate, feel free to donate to the page, which is www.paypal.me/Paul Anderson Shona Don, because there wasn't a space for Donaldson, so it's D-O-N at the end. So thanks very much for looking in. I'll finish with this. Markworth by James Scott Skinner, and then I'm going to turn it off if I can find the button, which has been proven to be a bit of a problem, but here we go. Markworth. There you go. All the best, folks. We'll see you later. Have a good night.